like governments, institutions with large amount of money, that they are able to move the market. Now, most of the time, how it works is by changing the sentiment, which is how people feel in certain conditions. For example, if there's war going on, like currently it is, as well as when there are bigger events happening and people are waiting, that's where the mass manipulation happens. Now, in order to win in any business, right, you would need to put your emotions aside, especially now coming into crypto, because obviously it's a new market, it's just been 16 years, but still, this market manipulation have been around since Forex, since stock market, and now lately in crypto, because what happens is all these economies are tied together, and when there's an announcement that happens, people are waiting to see the result. Now, in order to avoid this mass manipulation and be able to win, you'll need to do certain things. First of all, don't listen to the news. although although it could be beneficial if you get very good at reading the news, but you can use it in a different way than usual. So how does it work? When you see the sentiment, for example, I made a short as well, we posted it, that when you see a lot of people in the news, inside Twitter, everywhere else, calling for higher levels in the market or higher prices in the market, that this is gonna happen, Bitcoin is gonna go up, we're gonna see rallies and we're gonna see these prices, you should understand that everybody has their own perspective. That's the first thing you need to do, okay? Second thing is you need to understand that nobody knows the future except Allah. So even if they try to predict, some people say something, then it happens, then they come and tell you that, look, I told you it's gonna happen. Right? But most of the time people are wrong. Everybody is wrong. All the models that you put any crypto in, any stock, or however you want to analyze the market, be it even gold, that model fails. Every indicator fails and they're lagging. Okay? So that's also something that you need to consider. And then when you see the sentiment, which is very important, the emotions of people, if you see people are very hyped, what you need to do is see how is the condition of the market. It is overbought, it is oversold. Is it in a place that there could be a lot of demand coming in, or it is highly overbought and maybe a lot of sell pressure is going to be coming in. Now, this way you can avoid the manipulation. Instead of thinking like, oh, I heard in this news that Bitcoin is gonna go to this price, everybody make those predictions. Most of the time in the long term it works, because it's obvious for everybody that if an asset is so scarce that people would want to buy it, obviously it takes a while for everybody to come and adapt it and keep buying. There are people that they sell, then the price come back down, then people accumulate. So it's a process that takes years and decades for something to happen, okay? That's the realization that you need to have in order to win, okay? Then what you can do is you should always have a plan. Okay, so for example, inside Halal Portfolio, we have different kinds of plans. We have plans for the long term and we have plans for the short term, and never we go and trade based on what the news says, while we use the news most of the time to find the correct sentiment of the market. If everybody's calling for alt season, for example, Most of the time it's very, very late in the market, okay? And if people are calling, for example, for Bitcoin to fall to $40,000, $20,000, most of the time it's quite possible that everybody's sentiment is now changed. Everybody feels like the price is going to go lower. There is the exact time that institutional buying happens. Most of these institutional traders, they come and place their orders right at that time because they want to buy the cheaper prices. And it doesn't mean that after a lot of sell pressure that has happened and now we are in a demand zone, the price could go further down. And it's the same for the opposite of the market. If the price is already too high, you cannot expect it to go higher because it's already exhausted. People don't have more money coming in. Already people have benefited so much that a lot of people are now in profit and they would definitely take profit. So the moment you start come and buying, by you, I mean all of us, retail traders, unfortunately those higher prices are where they want to sell it to us. And I have avoided this previously a lot of the times by actually reading the sentiment in this way, that if everybody is saying something, you need to think the opposite. Now, take a look at this example. 2, 3 days ago, on Friday evening in the West, Trump said that, like, gave warning to Iran, for example, that we're gonna hit you very hard and you'll have to come up with a deal if it doesn't happen in the next 48 hours. And the next 48 hours was right at the opening of the market. So at that time, before the closing, everything crashed, prices went down. But obviously, the market works is that if the market is already going in a direction and there's a negative news, it tends to go even lower, okay? And if the market is already want to go higher, then it goes higher in that same perspective. So right after Monday opening of the market, he came and said that we're going to have a deal, we're talking. So you see, then the prices pushed up right after the market opened. So this is the way that mass manipulation happens, and you can avoid this by always having a system to follow, and do not be trapped in anything you hear and say, because that's how people are being controlled for quite some time, all the time. That's how psychology of most of people work. And if you want to be exceptional, you should think in an exceptional way, okay? So you need to think like that. You need to decouple yourself from the masses, and you need to think like an individual, and how you want to follow your system. If your system says that it is time to buy, you would need to also do your risk management and find the correct place to get for your long term or short term, depending on how you trade. Okay? So that's the only way you can win. Otherwise, there's no any other way. Through probabilities, not predictions. Predictions fail. It has always failed. Some people, I told you before, like most of the time people are incorrect, but what you see and they don't tell you is that they mention only the times that they were accurate. Okay, so most of the time we can be incorrect, but we can win most of the time if we have a plan. Okay, that's how it works. So let's go and start our analysis and see what's happening in the market. Okay, so this is the Bitcoin chart that we have been following. Let's go back to the weekly, and what I want to show you is that since we have sold right here, you can see that the price is down, and this is what I have expected, coming back to $60,000. Now in between, price could go up and down, okay? Before coming to the short-term analysis of the market, I want to show you something else. So this is a clean chart, right? And this is on monthly. Take a look at the monthly candle. What is this candle? It is a bearish engulfing candle. And this pattern is a bearish pattern. It has been falling for quite some time. It doesn't mean that we cannot have a rally of some sort before further down, because that's what I think. It's not finished yet. But it also means that it could, after even reaching these places, it could still even consolidate for some time, then crash lower, like it has happened previously. But in 2022, you can see that we had some kind of pullback before actually going lower. But that's not how we're gonna define the market. Like, uh, uh, as I said, history can be right, but history can be wrong as well. So you need to analyze how the market works and the now. So you see that this structure was perfectly broken, and it can be proven otherwise, and we may move to the next resistance line, which is here. If we get a successful close of above $80,000, like we need to flip on monthly this candle that made the breakout happen, okay? Then we can expect the market to rally a bit. But now it is in a place that you can't really tell what's going to happen. What probably is going to happen is that we may see even lower prices. How do I know that? Well, I have talked about this level of $76,000. Well, in this line you can see it's 75,700, close to 76,000. It's the same. But it did go, you can see that it did hit in this wick $76,000. Okay, that's the thing. Now, in order for it to go higher, what we would want is for this candle to close above like this, okay, like reaching above $80,000 to like 81, then have a retest in this level, then we can expect it to go to this level. Now we can place our buy orders perfectly here to swing it to even, I don't know, maybe from starting from 85 to $95,000, okay? But at this moment, it's not a place like that for me to like recommend you to go and do such thing at these prices. Well, if you have another plan, let's say you don't care where the price is, because if you see it fell 52%, but right now it is at 44% discount, what you can do is simply go and purchase for the long term. But then if something happens and the price goes down, for that you would need to have a plan. You need to have US dollars to keep accumulating. This is the method that you can follow and not be trapped in any situation and think of Bitcoin going up after that. But if you're trading and you want to make money, then obviously you would need to wait a little bit. Okay. So another thing is, now we saw this scenario for the upside. I have always talked about this. Let's keep it, actually. Let it be here. Where is the most probable case if things go down? So one of it is here, back to $60,000. The same way we have analyzed Bitcoin here. Okay. This wick. Coming back to this chart. Now, the other place is at this level of demand, because you see this nice breakout and retest and a continuation. So we would want to definitely take this level under consideration. And these are the places you can buy the most of your money. Like you can place larger buy orders with confidence. Obviously, not a financial advice. Do your own risk management. So this is how I see it. And at the moment, so what happened? What happened the other day when Trump said what he said? Now we're gonna go and take a look at that and how things changed very quickly. Now, if you come and check this chart, you would see that the price did dip even below this. As I told you guys, that it's not the time to actually buy. I even showed you the altcoins, I showed you Ethereum and everything else. So what happened on Monday, you can see that we had this pump very quickly. Like, most people couldn't get it, and because I was also not in the chart, I also couldn't get it. And I avoided this because I do have my long-term positions. I avoided this. I was in, but I got out with very few, like 0.8% loss, to avoid further down. Then what happened? It did go up. Now I haven't gotten FOMO'd into buying in these between prices, that because I knew it's gonna come back down, because of how the chart looks like, because it is still not the time, because we didn't get the breakout, because we got the rejection from $26,000 and price should come down. So I'm sticking with this plan, which is a 2-3 weeks or a month plan, but I'm also seeing that what I should be doing now, if after breaking this trend line, if the price comes and slows down at this level, I may take a trade, but more than that, I would love to see it at $66,000. That would be a better buy option, even for trading. And the same chart, I can show the same thing to you in Ethereum. You can see the price did dip below this level of support, but it immediately, look at how fast this was. I'm in 15-minute chart, right? This is not buy for me below this. Although you can, obviously, if you want to trade lower time frame, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to stick to the chart 24/7. But this is what I have avoided. This is what news does sometimes, but it always comes around. What goes around comes around. So yeah, you look at 5-minute chart. It happened in 5 minutes. What about 1 minute? How fast this was? It happened in literally in 2-3 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5, 6, 7 minutes. It reached the top. That's how, like, we can't catch these levels. If we have some other kinds of a strategy to put a limit order above this, yes, we can catch it. But is it truly worth it to take a trade that is so risky and could be manipulative? That's what I'm trying to teach you. Okay, that always it's not important to take every single trade, because that's how you can destroy your discipline forever, and it's really hard to build it. But you can be still and don't do anything and just watch the market for some time. What's wrong with that? Like, watch the market sometimes and go live. I mean, go stay with family. Yesterday I had a lot of guests, mashallah, so I was busy with them instead of looking at what's going to happen. I was like, go break this if you can, then I will have a plan for you when you come back down, right? So it didn't. Dogecoin, Solana did come back here, but still, even for Solana, do you see any breakout here? No, it can come back down. Same for Zcash. Except if we flip this and it can go to the next level, but at this point, it's all down. And take a look at gold. Gold broke this level, went to 4,100 and something, and even in some other charts it went to 3,900. This is crazy how gold behaves lately, like a rug pull coin. And this is how the Bitcoin chart is against gold, or the gold chart is against Bitcoin. We had a rejection from this shoulder, which is good, um, which means that Bitcoin is now again outperforming against gold, and everybody was like, gold is a very good asset. And how many people were trapped to buy gold at these prices? You see, that this is what I'm saying when I say market manipulation. This is how it looks like. Gold futures came, gold options came, gold got listed on Binance. Everybody started trading tokenized gold right at this top. Where was it all this time? Nowhere, right? Because this was the place that most retail would come and get trapped. That's how they made money all this time, and they sold it to you. If you bought gold, obviously. If you haven't, then it's all good. So, coming to the end of today's analysis, I hope you guys learned something. There's nothing much to do at the moment. What you can do is keep practicing, keep asking me questions. You can ask me in the comments, you can ask me in the live chat, you can ask me inside our community. The links will be down below. Our community is for free. Join our community of Muslim traders. But if you want to study, go further, get mentorship properly, then join Halal Portfolio Premium. That's what I can recommend you. And learn from us if you think we can teach you in the best way possible. So have a good time. Don't forget to like so it reaches to more people.